Hello, hello. Hope you guys are all doing well. I am going to hop on my phone as I always do, just to make sure that everything looks good. We should be streaming live in my Facebook group, The Profit Factor, and my business page, The Chic CFO, and over on my YouTube channel. So, yep, we are live on YouTube. We are live in the Facebook group. So if anybody's on here, let me know if you can see or hear me. Oh, it looks good. If you guys are on, just say hi. Let me know you're here, and definitely let me know if you can hear me all right and everything looks fine. It is raining pretty badly here, and sometimes when that happens, I don't get the best service, and then the video is all like jambled. But I am up. Somebody says, if I don't have permission, I'm going to see if I can figure out who said whoop whoop. If you don't give StreamYard permission, I actually cannot see who is talking. But I can't get it to pull up on Facebook. Let me see if I can refresh my screen, and hopefully I'll be able to see who is commenting. Let's see here. Colleen, hi. Cornelia, hi. All right, perfect. So if I leave this screen up, I should be able to see some stuff. All right, so I hope everybody is doing good. I took a bit of a hiatus off social media. I took election week off. My nanny's been out, and I feel like I went through the ringer with the pre-sale of Profit Perfect, which, by the way, if you guys can see, I don't know if I can move this, all of those Post-its, those are the names of everybody who joined Profit Perfect. We are going to be gearing up here for another launch. So if you haven't signed up yet, you have not missed your opportunity. Hey, Steph, but I definitely took a week off and just needed to kind of get back to my baseline because I definitely felt like the launch was a lot, but I am definitely going to be doing a video and doing a recap so you guys can all know how the launch went and what it kind of looked like on the back end. So let's see who else. Hey, Toby. Hi. All right, so normally I try to get these invitations out for my Facebook Lives at least like a day or so in advance. I literally just did this within 10 minutes and was like, we're just going to go now because my nanny is still out. And for those of you who might not be as familiar with me, I have 3 kids, one of which is a 5-month-old. So it is pretty much bananas here all of the time. So even just trying to get on here and make sure I look presentable. I mean, my 5-year-old was helping me dry my hair because he was doing that while I was trying to put makeup on. So I don't come on here looking like a hot mess, but sometimes I do just come on here looking like a hot mess because that's life. But when I get the opportunity to, I try to make sure I look like I'm not homeless. So it's been hectic. So sorry for the late notice, but hopefully we will be able to get some people on here today because we are going to be talking about something I am so incredibly passionate about. And I'm going to tell you guys why I'm passionate about it and why I feel the way that I do. But today we're going to be talking about how many bank accounts does a business actually need? Now, the reason I picked this topic is because in my day job, so to speak, I'm a virtual CFO. So if you guys aren't that familiar with my group, or maybe you're new here, I know we've had some newbies recently. I'm a financial clarity coach and a profit strategist, which means I help entrepreneurs understand the money side of their business so they can use that information to make operational improvements that is going to increase their bottom line. It's going to make them more money. And I offer these one-on-one services through my virtual CFO services at the Chic CFO. And in that process over the years, I have taken over dozens of clients' accounts, and I typically encounter this same exact situation where they come from a school of thought. And I'm not going to name the school of thought because I think that would just be rude because I'm not a fan of it. So it's not appropriate. But most of you will probably know what I'm talking about. It is a very, very popular small business method, I guess you could call it. It's a very popular book. There's a lot of gurus on social media talking about it, and people are really big fans of it. I just happen to not be one of them. And I know that my thoughts on it are not the popular stance on it, but I want to just explain, why I feel the way I feel. So I will encounter a lot of clients who have literally 10 to 15 bank accounts. I wish I was exaggerating, but I am not. And every time I find out, I say, why do we have this many bank accounts? It does come back to this popular small business, method, we'll call it, that really sends the message to the entrepreneur that you need bank accounts for every different division of your business, if you will. So it is this idea that we take the old-fashioned envelope system. So I don't know if you guys know what I mean when I say envelope system, but like our grandmothers used to do this. So it was this idea that if the electric bill was $100 a month, then grandpa got paid every week. Grandma would take $25 of that paycheck and shove it into an envelope so that at the end of the month, there was $100 in there. So they basically took this, this popular small business finance method, took this envelope system and said, okay, well, we're not going to have entrepreneurs shove money into envelopes, but we're going to have these envelopes now be bank accounts. So what this belief tells you is that you should have one bank account for your deposits. So one bank account for income. So if a client pays you, it goes into one bank account. Then we should have another bank account where we take care of any expenses that we owe, any operational expenses. Then we should have another bank account where we pay our employees or pay our contractors. That would be a payroll bank account. Then we should have another bank account where we put any profits that we'd have in the business. Then we should have another bank account where we put any owner's draw, money that we want to pay to ourselves. You can see I'm already at 5. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, drop it in the comments. Don't say the name because I don't want to bash a system. But if you guys have heard this before, that you need multiple bank accounts in order to ensure that you are going to be profitable, drop it in the comments and let me know. But I know from being in this business that this is a very popular belief that a lot of entrepreneurs have. This idea that we are going to divide our money amongst many different bank accounts. And a way that I like to kind of describe this, because I love a good analogy, think about your clothes, okay? And I know I've talked about this on here before. So let's talk about organizing our closet, right? And when you get dressed every morning, I want you to sort of imagine what it would look like if you had your shirts in one closet and then you had to walk out of that closet, go down the hall to another closet, and all of your pants were in that closet. And now your socks were in another closet, and your shoes were in another closet, and your undergarments were in a totally different closet as well. You're now walking in and out of different rooms just to put together one outfit. And I love that analogy because it really, when I'm describing that, you're like, well, that would be annoying. Why wouldn't I just have my clothes in one closet? And listen, if you have 2 million articles of clothing and you need 10 closets, go on with your bad self. But for the rest of us, we can keep our clothes in one closet. Maybe we could do a shoe closet, which I could get down with. But for the most part, put your shirts with your clothes, your pants with your shirts, put it all together so we can get in there, match up our outfits, and make sure everything looks good. And it's the same way with your bank accounts. And somebody said something. Let me see if I can read it. All right, so I can't see who said it because Facebook isn't updating enough for me to keep track of the comments. But on this side, on StreamYard, I don't know who said it, but it says, I do this not from a book, but because it made sense to me, mostly through the accounts are various types of savings, emergency topics. So I can't see who's saying that, but I'm going to, let me see if I can see it on my phone. Yeah, they didn't grant StreamYard. Okay, so we've got somebody who's saying that they do that, but not because they were following this popular method, but mostly because they have various different types of savings and emergency, and we're going to get into all that. But again, it's this idea that we need a separate bank account for all the different divisions of your business. So thinking about it as clothes, you'd need a bank account, or you'd need a closet for jeans, you'd need a closet for shirts, a closet for tank tops. And what I want to talk about today is that your best bet to become financially successful in your business, okay, is to keep it simple. All right. We know that business finance, all right, it's not everybody's cup of tea. All right. There's a really specific type of person who gets super excited about accounting and who's really passionate about it or into it, and it really makes sense for them. Most of the world doesn't really use that part of their brain, right? Most of us are self-proclaimed not numbers people, okay? And I'm one of those people. And if you guys know my story, which I'm not going to get into it on this live, but you know that I had to figure out my numbers because I was forced to, because I was an entrepreneur who was about to get evicted from my restaurant. So I know that the best way to take control over your business finances is to keep it simple. And what we do by having 10 different bank accounts is we complicate the situation. And when something is complicated and high maintenance, we're not going to stick with it. So going back to the closet situation, right? I'm sure most of us, we go in and we organize our closets a couple times a year, usually maybe when we're switching out the seasons or something like that. But most of us probably are not so micro that we literally have our clothes arranged color-coded, because the reality is that's more work to upkeep, right? Now, if you're one of those people that works for you and you're just meticulous and very OCD like my husband, his shit is color-coded. Mine, nope, not happening. But for you, if that works, that's fine. But for the rest of us normal folks, we are just going to keep it as simple as possible. So we want all our shirts lined up together, but it's not necessary for them to be going in a rainbow pattern. Because when something is simple, you are more likely to keep up with it. You see the same thing when it comes, to diets, right? What is everybody in the diet industry always trying to do? Keep it simple. That's why we see, protein bars that you can crack open a wrapper and eat. This is why we see shakes that you can just drink it while you're on the go. Because everything is about keeping things simple, because when something is simple, that's how we're going to be able to maintain it. So my first complaint with this system of having, 20 different bank accounts is it's not simple, okay? It's not simple. The next thing that I see happening a lot with this system is that people forget to make the transfers. So the way that this system works is you're going to get all of your money from your clients into your income account, right? But then you're going to have to transfer it so that you can make payroll into the payroll account, because your payroll company is pulling payroll from a different account. Well, if you forget to make that transfer, your employees' checks are going to bounce. And no joke, I have literally seen this happen multiple times. I've had a client be on vacation out of the country and her staff couldn't get paid. She did not respond to any emails because it ended up she got there and didn't have service. I did not have access on her bank account at the level to make transfers, and we couldn't pay her team. So it's something that, again, you don't need to be sitting there worrying, oh, did I make a transfer? It is hard enough to be an entrepreneur, right? It is hard enough to navigate managing our business finances if numbers is not your thing. We don't need to complicate this, all right? So keeping it simple is the best bet. So here's what I propose that you do. And guys, I'm going into this saying, I know that this is not that popular. I know that most people are out here preaching that you need 10 different bank accounts and that's how you're going to be profitable. But from personal experience, I find that to not be the case. And I will also say that clients of mine who have come to me and said, hey, I want to implement this system. I want to open 10 bank accounts. I always tell them, hey, it's your money. It's your world. We can do that. And I'm willing to support you in it. But just so you know, I have found none of my clients end up liking this system and they end up leaving it. And to this day, every single client who has switched to this model, this method, has eventually switched off. And for the reasons that I said, it's overcomplicated. They don't remember to make the transfers and then things are bouncing. To me, it's the banks who are really benefiting off of this, right? Because remember, you're paying a bank fee on most of these bank accounts. Even if it's only $5 a month, why pay them that? Just so that we can have this, virtual envelope system, so to speak. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but I just kind of wanted to address, why I'm not a fan of that system. And it boils down to it's high maintenance. There's a lot of upkeep, and I believe in keeping it simple. And I don't believe that having 10 different bank accounts is magically going to make you profitable. I believe that understanding your business finances, which starts with organizing them, is what is going to make you profitable. And anything that we do that complicates the process to do that, I actually feel derails you from reaching your profitability goals. So let's talk about what I want you guys to do when you're ready to get your, business bank account set up. So the first thing I want you to do is find out from the bank what is their minimum balance, because I am seeing a lot of clients working with much smaller hometown banks, and those banks typically lack a lot of the capabilities of a more modern bank, and they're charging higher fees and they have a lot less capabilities. So we're going to have some issues getting it to connect to QuickBooks Online. You're going to be paying a higher fee than you would at a big box bank, so to speak. You also want to know, besides the minimum balance they require, what types of fees do they charge? Again, I see this a lot with smaller banks. There's some unnecessary fees, and you just want to know that. We don't want to choose our bank just based on locality, right? We don't want it to just be, well, this is my neighborhood bank, so I'm going to go there. We want to choose the bank that's right for you. And you also should always ask them, do you guys have any incentives right now for signing up? I've seen plenty of times where a bank is doing something, open up a business checking account, you'll get $25. Is $25 going to make you a millionaire? No. But if the bank up the road is giving $0, it's something to consider. Now, I also want to point out, since I made this statement about, don't pick your bank just based on locality. Don't just go by default with your small hometown bank. Check out some online banks. So the reason why I like online banks is, first of all, they're super easy to set up. You can do everything from your computer, and they tend to have no fees or very, very minimum fees. So two ones that are pretty popular in the online space are Aslo and Novo. So I definitely encourage you to check those out and, see if it's something that's going to work for you. Now, if you are a brick and mortar business that your clients sometimes pay you with cash, then I understand wanting to make sure that you have a bank nearby so that it's convenient for you to deposit the cash. Okay. So once you've gone through this and you've picked the bank that is going to be best for you, I now want to get into the bank accounts that I think you actually need. And again, this is where there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, but these are my thoughts and I'm sticking to it. And I've been doing this for quite a few years and I've not derailed from this belief. So the first thing is you're going to want to open one business checking account where all of your client deposits, so all of your revenue, everything that your clients pay you, is going to be deposited in. And this is going to be the same account where all of your expenses come out of. Okay. Now, I already can hear you guys saying, I can't do that. I can't do that. Because I've been on the phone with you. I've been on Zooms with you guys. I know how scary this thought is because it is very much indoctrined in a lot of entrepreneurs' belief, because of this very popular method, that we need to get money into our income account and then pick and choose when we are dispersing it to make sure that we have it in the payroll account so payroll doesn't bounce, or we have it in the operational expenses account so our rent doesn't bounce. And while I understand this high level thought that, well, sometimes my bank account is overdrawn and I don't want to risk that payroll bounces, so I'm going to immediately transfer over the payroll funds and keep it safe in this account where no one else can access it, and I don't have to worry about another bill sort of coming out and depleting the funds, and then I don't have money for payroll. So this entire reason, right, why you're saying you need multiple bank accounts is because you want to make sure the money is always there. Okay, that's what you guys say to me. You need to make sure that your payroll doesn't bounce and that your money is always there. That's for the payroll account. You need to make sure that your operational expenses, your softwares that are on auto pay, your rent that's going to be coming out, you want to make sure it doesn't bounce. So high level, the issue is you're having cash flow problems, right? The issue is you're having a hard time managing your finances. You're concerned that you may not make payroll, right? And this is sort of the attempt to just make sure it happens. So you're sort of putting a Band-Aid on the issue, right? You're saying, if I have one bank account, my payroll could very well bounce because I'm not really disciplined with the way that I spend, and I could overdraw the account and my staff isn't going to get paid. So instead, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on this problem, and I'm going to transfer the funds into another payroll account, and that's the bank account where my payroll company is going to withdraw the funds from. So what I'm saying is you're literally just putting a Band-Aid on this issue, when what you need to do is actually go in for a full-blown surgery. We don't need a Band-Aid, okay? We need some sutures. We need some physical therapy. We need all the things. Call in the surgeon, because we need to figure out why your payroll would bounce if you left it in that main checking account. So we have some overspending going on. We could have some undercharging going on, right? Maybe you need to increase prices. There's a lot of things, but the only way we're going to actually figure out why this is happening is to get your business finances under control. But in order to do that, you have to simplify, because this shit is overwhelming as it is. So if you're now trying to figure out the situation across 10 bank accounts, that is way, way more overwhelming, and you have completely overcomplicated it, and it makes it all the harder to gain control over your business finances, which then keeps you pigeonholed, stuck in this situation where you're really forced to hurry up and transfer money when you get paid by a client to a different account in order to ensure that you're getting paid. So I don't want to just put a Band-Aid on it, right? I want to make sure that we get your business finances under control. And it's much harder to do that when you have 10 different bank accounts, okay? So again, we're going to have one main business checking account. Any deposits from revenues, from sales, they're all going to go into this account. And then your payroll, your rent, any operational expenses, your Facebook ads fees, your Kajabi software, your Canva fee, anything that comes out, it's all going to come out of that bank account. One bank account, okay? We're putting all your clothes in one closet. I think somebody said something. Shauna, yes, that's what I'm transferring money everywhere. Oh my God, Shauna. Okay, so the transferring, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys because I want to show you behind the scenes in QuickBooks. And let me just do it right now since she brought up the transfer thing. So for those of you who are in this situation where you have a million bank accounts, and obviously I'm being dramatic, nobody has a million, but a lot of you guys probably have like 10, okay? Because that's what I typically say. When you have multiple bank accounts, besides just the disarray and constantly, like Shauna said, having to worry about the transfers, there's also a bookkeeping component that is pretty freaking annoying. Okay, it's tedious. And I want to just make sure, if you're kind of stuck in this situation where you have a lot of bank accounts, I want to show you how to avoid a common mistake. So I am going to share my screen real quick. And I just have up like a demo account for QuickBooks Online, because I want to show you guys how to properly do this if you do have multiple bank accounts right now, right? We still need to do our bookkeeping. So one mistake that happens a lot. So in this example, there's a checking account right here, and then this is a savings account, right? So let's say you transferred, let's say you transferred over $200 from your business checking to your savings account. So a lot of times what people will do is when they see the $200 come out of the checking account, they're not categorizing it as a transfer. So in QuickBooks, we need to make sure that you guys do all of the in and outs from your bank account, okay? So all of when you take $5 from one account and move it into another account, or $200 from one account and move it into another account, in QuickBooks, we need to enter this as a transfer. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So and let me go full screen here so this can help you guys. So what you're going to do, just as an example here, if we click on this transaction, let's just say that this was $55 that you received from another one of your business bank accounts, right? You have 10 bank accounts and one of them happened to transfer $55 to another. So what you're going to do is in your bank feed, you'll click on the transaction, and I want you guys to go to record as transfer. See it right there? And then it says, what was the transfer account? So where did this money come from? And you're just going to scroll through till you find the bank account. We'll just say this came from the savings, and you'll just do record transfer. So again, you go into your bank feeds, you find the transaction, and hold on, let me get this set up again correctly. So you're going to find the transaction. This is a dummy account, so it's a demo account, so I'm just trying to give you guys, okay. So you find it and you just hit record as transfer, and then you select the bank account. So a lot of people categorize these transfers, and that is not how you do it. You need to make sure you do record as transfer. And since this is something that happens so often, I just wanted to make sure that I went over with you guys. I'm having a hard time getting back on the screen. There we go. I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys that real quick, because I know so many of you do have a lot of bank accounts, and a lot of times your QuickBooks file is a mess because they were categorized wrong. So I hope that little quick tutorial helped you, but you just, when you're in the bank feeds in QuickBooks, when you go to categorize it, you're going to select transfer. It'll say record as transfer. And then in the drop down, you just select the bank account. This way it gets coded correctly. Somebody said, does that happen with checking the savings accounts too in Cribio? Yeah, so great question. So let's say you don't have 10 bank accounts, right? You have a normal scenario like what I'm about to propose to you guys. It's the same thing. And just throwing this out there as well, it's going to be the same thing with your credit cards. So if you guys make a payment to your American Express card, you're going to do it as a transfer. So it's going to be record as transfer that it went from your Wells Fargo business checking account to your American Express credit card. So anytime that we are moving money between any of your financial accounts, and these financial accounts, are all listed at the top of QuickBooks, the way I showed you where it said checking, savings, a MasterCard in that dummy account that we just did, the QuickBooks demo account. Anytime you move money between them, you always do it as a record transfer. Otherwise, it's a bit of an accounting nightmare. Okay, so now that I showed you guys that, I want to make sure you have just the one business checking account where we're going to take in all the money from our clients and we're going to pay all of our expenses. Then I want you to open a second bank account, okay? This is going to be a business savings account, and this is going to be for taxes, all right? So every month, hopefully you guys are keeping up with your bookkeeping, all right? And if you're not and you need help with that, definitely head over either in the group here, you guys, and Facebook group. You can find a bunch of training videos on how to do your weekly bookkeeping with QuickBooks tutorials, or you can head over to my YouTube channel and you can find the QuickBooks tutorials. But make sure you're keeping up with your bookkeeping. If we're keeping up with our bookkeeping, we're going to be able to determine what our profit is each and every month, and then we're going to know what we need to transfer for our taxes, all right? So a typical rule of thumb is whatever your profit is every month, you should be taking 30% of that and transferring into a business savings account, all right? And we can do another live where we talk all about this and where we came up with the 30% and what is considered profit and everything like that. So that's a video for another day. And if you guys want to know more about that, drop it in the comments and I'll make sure that we get that filmed soon. But high level, every month, we want to take a portion of our profit and save it for taxes. So I want all of that going into another checking account, a business savings account to be specific. Keeping it totally separate. This way it's not sitting in our operational account inflating the numbers, because that's not really money that's yours. We're going to have to pay it to the government. Typically every quarter, which again, we can get into the details of that when we do a training video on that. So again, one main business checking account where your clients are paying you and you're paying all of your expenses. Then once a month, you're making a transfer for the savings from your profit for taxes. We're going to put that in a business savings account. Then if you, which I know most of you guys here don't, but if you owe any sales tax, we're going to go ahead and make that transfer over as well. All right. Because these tax amounts are not operational working capital, right? It's not money we can spend. This is money that we're going to owe to the government. So we're going to go ahead and put that in a separate business savings account. And then when you pay your taxes, you'll have everything set up to come directly out of this account. And I see we have another comment here. Someone says, I want to know more about tax savings. Beautiful. Yep, we will definitely do it, especially because it's, tis the season. So we're going to be doing a lot of trainings and stuff, making sure that you guys fully understand, because I'm hoping it's not too late in the year for you guys to be able to get everything cleaned up and feel like you're prepared to file taxes for 2020. But then I'm hoping that January 1, you guys are off to the races and you're able to kind of get like a clean slate and have everything go really well for 2021 with keeping your business finances organized. All right. So besides savings for our business taxes, this next bank account is optional. Okay. This is optional. And this would be a third bank account. And this would be for business savings. Okay. Hashtag goals. All right. What are you guys saving up for? Right? So maybe you need a new computer. Like, I need a new computer. Like, whoa. All right. It is time. I want to upgrade. I want to get an Apple. I want to do it right. Okay. I want to do it big. I want to get all the things. And I know it's going to be a lot of money. So I am saving in this hashtag goals account toward getting this brand new computer. So think about, what is it that you're saving for in your business? And you're probably thinking, well, I'm not saving for anything because I don't have any money to save. But don't worry, we're going to get your business finances organized. We're going to get you profitable, and then you're going to be able to save for your goals. But I just encourage, if there is something that you need, maybe it is a marketing campaign you really want to run, right? Maybe it's a new piece of equipment. Maybe it is a new computer. Maybe you've really been wanting to hire a graphic designer to revamp your website, right? I'm sure there's stuff that you could think that you're like, I really need to do this, but I don't have the money. So this is just sort of like a bonus bank account, right? So when all is said and done, we have our one main bank account where we run our business. That's where all of our revenue is deposited. That's where all of our expenses are paid from, including payroll. And then we transfer out of that to put aside the sales tax that we collected if you take sales tax. And we transfer out of it to put aside our tax savings so that we're prepared when we have to pay our quarterly taxes, or if you didn't pay them quarterly, but at the end of the year when you go to file, so that we have that money there waiting for us. And then third, the bonus bank account for your goals. If there is something that you are working towards, something that you really want to achieve in your business, let's set up a different bank account. All right. This way we can be disciplined, and maybe you can set a goal. I contribute $50 every week. Make it a goal. Write it down. If you write down your goals, you're like, I forget the statistic, but I think it's like 3 times more likely to do it. All right. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I know there are a lot of you in this group who have 10, 12 bank accounts. And here's the thing. If you have 10, 12 bank accounts, and you have one for your deposits, one for your expenses, one for your payroll, one for your owner's pay, one for your profit, one for your taxes, and so on and so on, and the fourth, if you have that and it's working for you, you do you, okay? But if you have it and you're frustrated and trying to remember to make the transfers, okay? If you have it and you're still having cash flow issues and you still feel broke and you still feel overwhelmed and confused and frustrated surrounding your business finances, these are all signs that this system isn't working for you. So if it's not working for you, please let's simplify, okay? The best way to be successful in your business is to keep it simple, okay? And I firmly believe that especially with finance, but not just with finance, with all things, okay? If you guys take the time to speak to these 7-figure earners, okay, these boss bitches, okay, they have a very simple business method. They don't complicate things. Their model is simplicity because that's really the best way to scale. So I just encourage you to really think about that. And again, like I said, broken record here. I know this isn't the popular belief. I know you guys are just saying, hey, the way my brain works is I need to know, I have $2,000 sitting in another account for payroll, so I don't have to worry about that bouncing. I have $500 sitting in my other account because I know that the car payments are going to come out and that's handled. And I get what you're saying and I hear you. But if it's not working for you, it's time to make a change. It just is. And you will never regret doing something that's simple, okay? You're never going to regret that. If you simplify your business to find success, you're not going to regret that. But if you complicated the hell out of it and you still didn't find success and it didn't work for you, you're going to regret that. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. And hopefully this brought you guys some value today. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments. But hopefully what you guys will be doing is dropping in the comments that you looked at your 10, 12 bank accounts and you realized you don't need them, right? Because a lot of what I see too is people are paying a bank fee to have all these bank accounts and they're like, oh, well, I tried to set up the system. It didn't work for me. I stopped using it, but I still have the bank accounts. And I'm like, wait, you're paying for them each month. Like, close the bank account. Let's get them closed. Let's simplify, okay? Let's go into 2021 purging. Just purge it all. If you don't need it, if the bank account, what does Marie Kondo say? If that bank account is not bringing you joy, close it. We don't need it because the only one it's bringing joy to is the bank who's charging you the fees. All right, so that's my TED Talk. Thank you for attending. And I will talk to you guys next week. It looks like we have one comment. Let me see. I really needed to hear this today. Good. I'm happy. A lot of people, you're not alone, Gloria. Like, you are not alone. Like, it's crazy. And it's an accounting nightmare. Okay. If you guys have any desire to actually have your accounting reports legible and organized and be able to read them to help you make improvements in your business, it's going to be hard when you have a lot of bank accounts, okay? Keep it simple. Everything happens in one account. We remove our taxes every month. It is a discipline so that we have that tax money ready when it's due. And then we have that third bonus account for savings so we can work toward some big ass goals, because that's what I want you guys to do. That's what this group is about. That's what this community about. It's all about being profitable in your business. And I believe the best way to do that is to understand your business financials. And I believe the best way to understand them is to keep it simple. So thanks for joining me today, and I will talk to you guys soon.